Good afternoon. We are Southeastern 16 presented by FanDuel. Chris Lee and Brian Edwards here. Ole Miss has just knocked off Mississippi State in the Egg Bowl. The Rebels are headed to the college football playoff, and now we await a head coaching decision. Brian Edwards, good afternoon. Never really got super interesting in the second half. I think Ole Miss got that score. What was it? Before halftime?
About 2 minutes left
in the half, and then to be honest, Mississippi State just could not cover Ole Miss in space, and that was the difference today.
Yeah. Now Ole Miss's defense gave up a lot of yards, but they kind of tightened up in the red zone a couple of times, and 545 yards of offense. That's why Ole Miss is dangerous. They can be had defensively, but they can also outscore just about everybody, and that's why they're a threat in the playoff. Obviously we'll see what happens with the soap opera, but impressive performance because Mississippi State, they answered that with that 97-yard drive early, and they came to play. It was a physical game, but Ole Miss just had too much for them, especially on the perimeter offensively.
Why did Mississippi State start Kamario Taylor today, by the way? I wasn't watching it right when it started, so didn't hear that.
I think Shapen is a little bit banged up, but also as I'm going to the injury report, I feel like I saw him early in the week on the injury report. But I think Taylor has played good. I mean, I remember I had a bet on Mississippi State at Arkansas, and Taylor came in for a possession and led him right down the field for a touchdown, and Shapen had gotten banged up. And I got so mad when he put Shapen back in and he threw an interception. Now it ended up working out. Shapen led him to the comeback win, but Taylor's good. And actually, you know what? I feel like I saw him on the injury report early in the week, but Shapen wasn't on the injury report. I guess it was just a coach's decision. And obviously they were playing for bowl eligibility, but also just kind of thinking to the future because Shapen's out of eligibility, and just let's get Taylor more playing times because he's played very well when he's had the chances this year.
Yeah, before we go further, a quick reminder, we're brought to you by our friends at GameTime SIDEKICKS, officially licensed stainless steel drinkware, every SEC school, 350 other universities, stainless steel sippy cups, tumblers, 40-ounce bottles, and shaker cups. SE16 gets you 20% off your entire order. Yeah, Lane Kiffin said afterwards, doesn't know what he's going to do yet. There's been some sentiment that if he wins, he's staying. There's been some sentiment that he has burned enough bridges in Oxford that might not be comfortable. And his AD came out and said he thinks he's staying. So that was interesting. But yeah, what do you think is going to happen here?
Gosh, I've gone so back and forth on this as this drama has played out for weeks. I mean, I was up in Oxford for the Florida game several weeks ago, and I felt like it was almost going to be untenable at that point. If he stayed. Here we are 2 weeks later. It's just been nothing but the same, other than I think Keith Carter said something to him and he's gone Twitter silent, at least the last however been only like 4, I think, but maybe 5 tops. But God, you just don't want to be and I mean, I know we all know this, but he always said he regretted the way he left Tennessee. And this is like 100 times worse, especially because he already played these mind games in 2022 when he was flirting with Auburn, and it really ruined their season. Like they lost, I want to say 3 in a row down the stretch. I can look that up here in a second. But I mean, do you really want to be remembered as the guy that left Tennessee the way he left them, and then literally walking out on a team on the way to the playoff? Literally. You're walking out on them. I mean, they've told you're not going to be the LSU coach in waiting and be our coach in the playoff. That's not happening. And who wants to be that guy? I mean, we've never seen that. I mean, we saw Brian Kelly do it, but Notre Dame had they needed 2 or 3 different things to happen to make the playoff that year, because obviously that was the 4-team playoff. The chances were not good when he left for LSU. And, this is unprecedented. It would be such a shameful look. And then if it goes as sideways at LSU as it did at USC, he would just look like an absolute fool.
Yeah.
I know I didn't answer. I didn't answer.
Well, no. And our listeners, if you were in the chat let us know what's said in the press conference. I'm sure he's going to get asked. Can't imagine his answer is going to be any different. I don't really know what Lane Kiffin would have to think about at this point, but that's what he says. It's tomorrow, and we'll see what happens. We'll get to that later. I'd be interested to see what he's said in the press conference. Back to the game for just a minute, and that's the shame of this. Ole Miss has had this terrific, historic season. Ole Miss is now 11-1. And it's all been overshadowed by this. In the midst of this, you've had tremendous stories in Trinidad Chambliss, who was terrific again today. Throws for 359, 4 touchdowns, no picks. That ball to Deuce Alexander might have been the signature play of the season, where he got him open, and Alexander just kind of won a physical battle to break free and get a touchdown. I think that's the one that made it. Let's see. Yeah, that's the one that made it. No, Stribling made it 30-13. Okay, that was the last score. Made it 37-19. So at that point, Mississippi State's within 12 points. It missed a 2-point conversion. Yeah, it could happen is the point.
Yeah,
right.
Sure.
2 plays, 90 yards, and that was the icing on the cake.
Yep, absolutely. And, that's what makes them a threat, because they can make big plays like that, and they can outscore other teams. And by the way, I noticed at FanDuel, I'm pretty sure Ole Miss was either 40 or 45-1 to win it all early in the week, and they are down to 27. Now, I know they were 15-1 to win the SEC, and they've got to have, a couple of upsets with Texas tonight, and then they've got to have Auburn win the Iron Bowl. But their SEC odds have gone from 15-1 to 13-1 at our friends at FanDuel.
Yeah. Someone says in the chat, I can't tell who everybody is. Once Google made this switch and YouTube made this switch to away from the usernames we know, like these guys may be our regulars commenting, but I wouldn't know it. Says he wants to enjoy the win with players. Yeah, he did say that after the game. But yeah, this is going to be the topic. Says he said nothing. I guess that means at the press conference. I know he said nothing after the game. The other thing I was going to get to is Kewan Lacey again, 27 for $143. 1 touchdown. Don't know that he's going to be in New York for the Heisman, but maybe he should be. He was as valuable to their team as anybody this year. Ole Miss's offense, man, hats off to Lane Kiffin for all the stuff. They rebooted with a new quarterback, really 2 new quarterbacks, and a new bell cow running back, and ended up having a better season than they did a year ago, where that team was far more talented than this one.
Yeah, no doubt about it, and was far, far better defensively. But, Trinidad Chambliss, I mean, what a great story he has been. So 4 tutties, no picks, as you said a minute ago. So that makes him for the season. I doubt these season numbers are updated. So I believe that makes him 18-3 TD-INT ratio for the season. A kid that was playing D2 football at Ferris State last year, not to mention the 6 rushing TDs. I'm assuming he didn't have a rushing TD today. Yeah, he's been fantastic. Lacey's as good a running back as there is in the country. And then all the guys on the perimeter. And Caden Lee had a good day today. His numbers haven't been as impressive as last year, but he had 7 catches, 77 yards. And, I mean, you got Wallace, you got Stribling. We saw the speed of Alexander to pull away on that great play you were describing a minute ago. They're just loaded offensively. And can outscore anybody on any given day.
I guess the concern, if you're Ole Miss, Kamario Taylor rushes for $173 and 2 scores today. You're going to be watching to see who you get, and I think mobile quarterback could be the thing that you don't want to see. Not that anybody defends mobile quarterback super well today, but I'm guessing if you're Ole Miss on the field, that might be your only big concern leaving today.
Yeah, and Marcel Reed fits that bill as a potential, guy you might have to play against. Mateer.
That's true.
Mateer, but they've already faced Mateer, obviously. And, Stockton a little bit, Mendoza a little bit. Yeah.
I mean, not a super mobile guy. Well, Reed would be the guy, but like they're not meeting A&M unless it's, a couple of games down the road. Yeah. I mean, because Ole Miss is going to be hosting, is it what, a 5 or 6 seed, I would think?
I would think.
Pending what happens in the title games, like if
But
someone
Washington
lost
could
teams,
beat Oregon.
right.
Washington could beat Oregon. Well, Alabama's already behind them. I don't see Texas Tech losing. But yeah, there are definitely some things that could happen. But I mean, I think at worst they're a 5 seed, right?
I mean, I would think so. I don't know how they were 6 last week, right?
Yes.
And let's see.
I mean, I guess they could still be 6 if
I mean, they're not dropping behind Indiana. I don't think they're not dropping behind Ohio State, or excuse me, pulling in front of.
Right.
They're not going to pull in front of A&M.
Well, Oregon's in front of them, right? Is Oregon 5th?
I can't remember if Oregon's 5th or 6th. But I mean, point is, I think they're going to be locked in one of those home field. In fact, you're probably going to get. Here's what you're going to get. You might get James Madison or whoever comes out of the Tulane, whoever comes out of the group of 5. Yeah. That's what it's looking like, I think.
And they've already smashed Tulane at home.
Right. Going to be very familiar with Tulane, having played Tulane the last couple of years, if that's your matchup.
Yeah, and will Tulane have their coach?
Yeah, I mean, he may be at Florida.
Maybe at Auburn. Maybe at Florida. Yeah. Or I would, he might request to coach it out. I don't know what Auburn and Florida would say to that, though.
Yeah, I'm looking at CBS Sports' projected 12-team bracket. And let's see. Yeah, Ole Miss was the 7 here, hosting Alabama.
Wow.
But that was before this game. I just don't. I don't know. We'll pull up 25.
Okay, I'm sorry. Is this okay?
Maybe Oregon did leap Ole Miss.
So Ole Miss is 7 right now, right?
Yeah, and I would think that Texas Tech is 5. I'd forgotten about Texas Tech. So, yeah, I mean, it could be – well, I was going to say, I mean, Washington takes care of business, then Ole Miss goes up a spot.
Right.
But I think Washington's what, a 9-point dog or so in that one?
Sounds right. Something, yeah, close to that.
Okay. Yeah, anyway. Drop us stuff in the chat. Where do you think Lane Kiffin ends up? What do you think Ole Miss gets seeded in the playoffs? All that good stuff. We'll take your questions. We'll take your comments. We'll take your super chats. Always appreciate those. And don't forget, join the membership tiers too. We're bringing some special content for you guys over there. Somebody stumping for Petrino. That's interesting.
I think that's just to stay in Arkansas, right? Did the Golders thing ever go official?
I presumed it had. I didn't look that up today. There's been a lot of coaching news this morning.
I mean, it's just taken away from the games. They need, like Saban's right. They need to change the college football schedule in so many ways, but certainly in terms of the NFL has a specific window when you can, search for jobs, and it doesn't need to be when the regular season is still being played like college football has it right now.
Yeah, and by the way, we've got signing day coming up too.
Oh yeah, what, Wednesday?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, it's almost like they said, "What's the biggest disaster we could put together?"
Yes,
and all this, and let's do it that way.
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah, let's do it that way. Where you got coaches changing jobs and then kids opting out of bowls, and then we got signing day on Wednesday, and the old school signing day still exists, but how many people sign on that day in April? Very few these days.
Okay, we've got I'm looking up Goalish. That is still
not done deal, right?
In that he's expected to, or he's taking the job. I think somebody reported it's done. I'm looking at Best of Arkansas Sports now. It says Trey Schapp of 103.7 The Buzz reported that South Florida's Alex Goalish had accepted an offer to become the next head coach, but still nothing official from the school.
There's nothing on the Arkansas Razorback football Twitter account.
Yeah. Clark Lee re-upped at Vanderbilt this morning. Drink was his official.
I saw the tweet that he'd agreed to it. That was last night, wasn't it? I believe so. I don't know if it's official, but yeah, I think that's happening, or him staying. And good for Vandy. Good for Vandy. I saw a report that Florida had interviewed him. You would know better than I if that was legit, but good for Vandy locking him in, and hopefully maybe they can flip this 5-star kid out of Nashville that I know you know more about than I do that is committed to Georgia.
Yeah, the talk is that's imminent, so we'll see.
Oh, awesome.
But yeah. Yeah, I mean, Florida. The interesting thing is, last week I was hearing that LSU was being used to leverage Florida in this whole thing.
There was a lot of talk about that from Florida.
There was,
yeah.
And I guess Florida just got sick of it and said we're moving on. Either that, or he was not going to take the job, and it moved on. Who knows?
Yeah, I guess so. Right now, Zach Albaverdi, I might be mispronouncing that. He's a longtime Gator beat writer. He said earlier today it's between Summerall, Jed Fish at Washington, who was a GA for Spurrier in 99 and 2000, and then Brent Key at Georgia Tech, who I don't know.
They're playing right now.
Yeah, they're playing right now, and I know he's a Georgia Tech guy, and he might be leveraging just to get a raise. So who knows?
Kind of interesting. All the Sexton guys waited to the last minute. All of them are landing somewhere this week, presuming Kiffin sticks to his decision tomorrow, and Lee is re-upped, and then Drink.
So now, and Summerall is like once the Kiffin domino falls, then it's Summerall, because regardless of what Kiffin does, Summerall's a player for Ole Miss or LSU potentially. We now know he's potentially a player with Florida. I've felt he's always been one of the top choices at Auburn. So I mean, but he can only go to one of those places. So I mean, then you got all these other openings. I mean, who is gonna, is Lincoln Riley going to be an option out there? Is Dillingham going to be an option out there? Because one of these jobs is going to go to somebody we're not thinking about right now.
Yeah. No, that's true. I keep forgetting Lincoln Riley might be out there.
And I think that could end up being mutual. But I don't think USC is that happy with him. And it's been widely reported that his family doesn't like living out there. And, he's from the General South, or coached most of his career in the South. So I could see that being a split. I mean, but whoever wants to get and play for him certainly doesn't want to be paying a big buyout. And I know he had a big contract initially. I don't know where it stands now, but there's going to be somebody, the guy that I was thinking, and maybe he's an NFL guy at this point, but I was thinking for Florida, it could be a wild card if they strike out on a couple guys, is maybe Kingsbury. I mean, he's got NFL head coaching experience, college head coaching experience. He did wonders with Johnny Football at A&M as the OC, did wonders with Mahomes, although he didn't have a defense at the time, and he did wonders with Jaden Daniels last year. I think he could be a hire kind of out of nowhere that could make a lot of fan bases happy. But again, he might just be an NFL guy now.
Sam bringing up Penn State. I gotta. There's one name that we haven't talked about that could really cause some coaching dominance. I'm going to bring that up in just a minute. Before I do it, reminder, we're brought to you. Yeah. The thing of the tease here. Let me pull up my ad here. We're also brought to you by the Yearly Company. Hey guys, don't mess with Black Friday traffic and all that. Go to Yearly Company. You get your wife, your girlfriend, your fiance something nice. They are a Nashville-based fine jewelry brand built on tradition, designed for meaning. Each piece handcrafted from solid 14-karat gold, natural gemstones made for a perfect fit, backed by a lifetime guarantee. Every Yearly Company bangle is custom sized, so knowing your size is the most important first step before you order. That's where the sizing kit comes in. Code SE16KIT gets you 100% off your sizing kit at checkout. Also brought to you by ROKFORM, the world's strongest magnetic phone case, extreme protection, super strong magnets, rock lock secure mounting, SEC25 for 25% off your entire order. They make terrific cases, and get the vent clip too. You'll thank me for that one later.
Georgia Tech
Okay.
got an interception to set them up in Georgia territory. Scoreless game, 5:45 left in the first.
I'm going to ask you about a name here.
All right, let's see it. Let's hear it.
Has Marcus Freeman's name been publicly mentioned anywhere?
You know, I had him when I initially did a list that I had as my pinned tweet. And by the way, if anyone's been on my Twitter lately, I've been hacked, and that pinned tweet about Bitcoin has nothing to do with me. But my initial, I did a list of 10 names. I had Freeman number 2. I haven't heard much mention of him. I've just kind of assumed that it's just because he's not going anywhere, and that if he does eventually go somewhere, it'll be the NFL. That's just kind of what I assume, but I don't, but yeah, you're right. His name hasn't been out there, but I've kind of thought that was the case because he's just not going anywhere. But I would love him. He was number 2 on my list behind Kiffin. Sorry.
There's been some talk. That's all it is as far as I know, that he might be stealthily involved at Penn State. And also he's going to been a coveted guy for some NFL jobs too, potentially.
Would you? I don't know why would you want to leave Notre Dame for Penn State and have to go head to head with Ohio State and Oregon and Michigan every year? I think you're better off at Notre Dame.
Yeah, I do too. I'm not saying I would, but somebody brought up Brian Hartline. I heard that the boosters up there had cooled on Hartline. I don't know if that's because he's an Ohio State guy or what that's about, but so. Yeah, drop in your questions, your comments, your thoughts on where Lane Kiffin ends up. I don't even know what to guess with that guy anymore. Do you?
No, and I'm just, it's just so exhausting. I mean, obviously, I have had a dog in the fight with Florida, but I mean, if you're Ole Miss fans, you have to be so sick of this now. If I'm not mistaken, or I would think Keith Carter, because Keith Carter is one of the best in the business, and here for a couple of years now, he's probably had the best 1-2 basketball, football coaching combo in the country with Chris Beard and Lane Kiffin. But I'm sure that in this new extension for Kiffin, I'm sure it's going to be a massive, massive buyout for whoever comes calling, whether it's Alabama, if they get a divorce with DeBoer, whether that's a year from now or tomorrow if they lose the Iron Bowl or what have you. But, because Kiffin would be interested in the Alabama job, guaranteed.
Yeah.
So yeah. I would think Carter's got a massive buyout, and maybe that's another reason for Lane to hesitate. Because I'm sure Lane in his mind is like, okay, if I sign this extension, I'm basically locking myself in here for at least 5 years. And maybe that's why he's so hesitant. I don't know that. I'm just assuming. So, but I know Strickland at Florida would never do anything like that. He could have made Napier reduce the buyout last year and by snapping his fingers and just telling Napier that's what's going to be done. But he didn't. So he wasted more money for the Gators.
Sam says the Golish's camp is hacked, that that hire got leaked and he may not end up there. And I've heard, I don't think, I've heard Lane Kiffin is not getting Alabama. If that will happen. Ever? Well, I don't know. Ever's a long time, but
sure.
Now is the part we're concerned with. But
right, no, I know.
I guess I see your point. Like, if it opens in another year or two, but
well, I can see the reason being Saban has just said you don't ever want him as the head coach, and therefore it
right. But apparently Saban had backed off on that stance.
Well,
I think. Who knows? Matt Campbell, Penn State would be interesting.
That would.
So, yeah, it's because I thought Summerall was going to be the guy at Auburn a few days ago.
So did I. Now I have been
maybe Florida,
but I've kind of been wondering, like, why doesn't Auburn seal that deal? Is it because Summerall's holding out to see if LSU opens because he'd prefer LSU, which would make all the sense in the world, or his team's still in the playoff mix. I'm gonna go the highest bidder, or like there have been moments in the last week or two where I'm like, if I'm Auburn, if that's my guy, I just go get him and get this thing done. And that hasn't happened. So, and I know Dillingham was at Auburn briefly many moons ago, not that many moons ago, but so is Auburn also interested in Dillingham. Oh, here's Mr. Auburn. Here's Mr. Auburn.
Good afternoon, Jay Greeson. We're talking coaching stuff. But before we do that, let's get your reaction on Ole Miss and that game and your thoughts on Lane Kiffin.
My reaction on the game was, if I was an in-game bettor, I would have made as much money as Brian Edwards did with that first drive. It just seemed like Ole Miss was ready to play, and all the distraction around them was, Brian, you could probably tell the FanDuel number went from a touchdown spread to probably 16 after the first drive. Is that fair?
Yeah, I was driving back from my mom's, but I looked at it when Mississippi State answered with a 97-yard drive, and it was back to 7. I don't know how far it jumped up after it was 7-0. I didn't see it.
My other reaction from the game was watching every moment of it before I had to go do a couple things that I'm sorry I'm tardy, but ESPN and the collection of questions they asked Lane Kiffin was laughable.
Right.
From somebody who's been doing this for a quarter century, it was an absolute joke. Every question asked to him, it was either cleared to Lane Kiffin, the SEC, whoever's involved in the powers that be. It was an absolute laughable. I mean, it might as well be, it felt like an interview session from Best in Show. Or,
right.
I mean, no kidding. I mean, it was an absolute, it was a farce is what it was.
Well, now, whatever's going on in that presser right now, I guarantee you is not like that. They're going to be
no. Everybody else who's getting paid by a journalistic organization, because everybody thinks the N in ESPN stands for newspapers, or no, it's the E stands for entertainment, and the P stands for programming. So whatever deal they had cut with, this was a laughable. I mean, don't in a million years think that was journalism in its least, because whoever the smoke show who had a camera on the field, I mean, she might as well ask what was Lane's favorite color. Right. Because, I mean, that would have been more informative than any question she asked. The game, though, look, man, Jeff Lebby's team fights. The Taylor kid gives them hope.
Yeah.
I think Mississippi State's going to compete, but I've thought that for a while. I think Lebby did as good a job. You could make an argument he did as good a job as anybody in America. But there is no way to talk about the game without talking about coaching cloud.
It's an exhausting soap opera. 3-0 Georgia Tech in Atlanta, by the way.
Okay, I'm about to post a tweet. Apparently Lane Kiffin got into it with Ben Garrett.
Just now?
After the game, I guess walking to the press conference, who covers Ole Miss. I'm going to post the tweet in the chat here, and hopefully you guys can see that. Trey Wallace tweeted it out. Trey's down there today. I've been texting with him a bit. So, in fact, I'm going to throw in a text and see how that's going. Because he's there.
I'm going to Kiffin latest right now. Oh, wait. Okay, here it is. Oh, yeah, I see that. Oh, yeah, this is him talking to him right now.
Yeah, somebody play that. I don't want to. If I play it on air. Play it and tell me what happens.
I think let me listen to it one more time, see if I got it right. Yeah, Kiffin went up to him. He goes, "You want to walk in here and call me a hoe and see how that goes?"
Oh, man.
I guess he's implying the writer called him a hoe.
Wow. He's also implying that he wants to fight. Because I'll tell you this, I'll fight every head coach I've ever met this side of Dan Campbell.
Good call on the one you didn't want.
Yeah, no, I don't want any part of that. I have not met Mario Cristobal either.
What about Eddie O?
Oh, that's a good call.
I don't think I'd want any part. He's a little crazy.
No. He'll bite your ear off.
Right.
I think Kirby would take me, and Saban would, even as old as he is. I mean, I'd have to kill Saban. You know what I'm saying? I mean, because Saban's just gonna get up and he's gonna be the guy that goes. He's gonna be like Neo from the Matrix.
Will Muschamp's a black belt? Look at that. So that's another one to cross off your list.
Oh yeah, you don't want. He brings intensity.
Yeah, but
I don't think I'd want any part of Kirby Smart either.
Muschamp.
Oh, he had Kirby on his list that he didn't want.
Yeah,
I wouldn't want any part of Clark Lee.
No, I wouldn't either.
I hadn't met Clark Lee.
Well, it's not that. It's like, have you seen him in his, that dude has been hitting the bench press lately.
Okay, here's a
all right, God bless you. Yes. I've beaten up a whole bunch of bodybuilders.
Okay, well.
Okay, here's what okay, I see some clarification here.
I think you could take Eli Drinkwitz, Jay.
And I'll tell you this. I'm beating Hugh Freeze into the next life.
No doubt. You might do that anyway.
I might, if I ever see the son of a bitch.
Hey, apparently the reporter, and he's got on a Mississippi State like little badge thing. He said on his podcast, "Can't turn a hoe into a housewife. Hoes don't act right."
Wow, that's a whole other show. I mean, and it's the single reason why Brian's not married. What, did I say that out loud? I mean, I'm sorry. What?
I think I would have just said, if I were just okay, fine. Give me an on the record statement that you're staying, and I'll take it back.
I bet that Fire Scott Strickland is trending on Twitter. I love that that's trending on Twitter.
Okay, so this
means you're not getting Lane Kiffin.
Thank you, Jerry Moore. But you can't tell who any of these people are. Some of them, I shouldn't say any, but when they change the screen names, got harder to know who the regulars are here. Jerry, tell us what's going on with Lane Kiffin, because it sounds like that press conference was probably going to be tense.
Oh, the Ole Miss PR guy is going to have to stop the press conference at some point.
Yeah. Thank you for clearing that up, Sam Smith.
I'm going to pull it up on YouTube. I'll mute it. I just want to see if it's going on.
Sure. Jay, have you ever almost gotten into a fight with anyone you covered?
Not face to face, but over the phone, it got tense in a couple of situations. And okay. I did have Tiger Woods shoot laser beams out of his eyes at me one time after the whole controversy with the 9-iron and L and all that other stuff. Everybody else was at the Masters when he made his return was asking questions about your golf game and all this other stuff. And I said, what do you say to your fans? And that was the first question. That's the only question I've ever asked Tiger Woods. And I mean, honestly, if he'd been Darth Vader, I'd been dead. He'd have used the Force and it would have killed me. It would have been that scene where he chokes the guy out. this is what we do for a living, man. And if you can't ask the question, then move along. Go work at Ace Hardware. Go do something else. If you can't ask the question that has to be asked, then move along.
By the way, the chat seems to think that Golish is going to Florida and Petrino is going to be Arkansas's guy, which would be unbelievable.
All right, Ole Miss does not have anything on their page for the post-game presser.
Well, Blake said the quotes will be coming in a minute, so I presume he's going to post some here.
Oh, Lane just got to the podium. I got you.
Right.
Okay.
And I've got a text into somebody in that room. We'll see if it gets answered.
They should have that on the SEC network right now.
I'd watch that before I'd watch Georgia Tech.
Yeah. Oh, I won my first quarter money line bet plus 190 on Georgia Tech. Georgia facing a 3rd and 8.
You know what? Everybody turns into this channel for me to be 15 minutes late and to hear your first quarter Georgia Tech bet. I mean, why don't you stop talking? All right.
Should I say that I had UConn and Vandy and hoops earlier today?
Yeah, because I'm certain everybody wants to hear that too.
But I had some losers yesterday, unfortunately.
Man, hey, thank God the turkey was good at the Greeson household because
my picks were garbage yesterday.
It was garbage. And my NFL, I mean, well, again, I just heckled you, and then I'm about to go into my NFL bets. No, this isn't going to work.
I'm on the Bears right now.
I'm sorry, you talking out loud?
10-3 Bears at halftime. I like it.
Okay. You're still talking out loud. Chris, please take control of the show. I know you're listening to the Lane Kiffin press conference, but that's okay.
No, actually I'm not. I'm just parsing through the chat, looking at scores, that kind of thing. I'm really just kind of holding until we get some quotes here. Well,
while we're holding, I can tell you this, since we didn't have bets and ball games this week, FanDuel has a hypothetical line for A&M and Alabama next Saturday, and it is A&M minus 1.5 with a total of 51.5. A couple days ago, they had the hypotheticals involving Georgia and A&M as well, but I guess since Georgia's playing, they've got that down right now.
If Auburn wins tomorrow, is it? I guess it's Georgia that goes, right?
Yes.
Yeah, because Georgia beat Ole Miss head-to-head.
Correct.
As long as A&M wins tonight. If my understanding is if A&M loses tonight and Alabama loses tomorrow, which is going to happen, then it's Georgia, Ole Miss.
Hey, hang on a minute. I've got a link to the press conference here. I just happen to be on CBS, and they are, I guess, streaming it live. Nice. So let me drop that in here. I think that's what that is.
I mean, and it looks like, is that Blake filing in a whole bunch of quotes? So Lane Kiffin saying he's got to do some praying. This feels like when Sigourney Weaver character was consumed in Ghostbusters. Is he praying to Goza? I mean, is he looking for the gatekeeper? I mean, are we crossing the streams? That guy's gonna start trotting out. I'm gonna look for prayer in this moment in time. I mean, dear Lord, man. I mean,
then he goes and tells the reporter to come call me a hoe. And
come call me a hoe. You can't take a hoe home. And I mean, damn it, man. I mean, pick a horse and ride, Lane. And I say all of this wishing to hell because, hey, if you think Ole Miss was going to be 11-1 and being a playoff team, what the hell would this Auburn team be if Lane Kiffin was calling plays? Go ahead. Yeah. Ohio State would want none.
Okay, I'm going to read you the quotes as Blake is sending them. I've got some praying to do to figure this out. I live life one day at a time, but I've learned to live this way for 6 years now. But today it is about these players and keeping the Egg Bowl trophy where it belongs.
Look, he's going to get more pointed questions coming, and then he's going to keep coming. It's going to keep coming, and then he's going to get pissed, and this is going to be fun.
No, I mean, no, he's going to do the song and dance. Like somebody's going to say, well, what do you say to the fans? And then bing, it doesn't matter what the rest of the question is. It's focusing on the fans. What do you say? Are you going anywhere? And I'm going home tonight. And that's what I'm going to do. And I mean, this is going to be, I have to believe, of the 10% of the $15 million deal that Lane Kiffin's about to sign, Jimmy Sexton has spent 10% of that 10%, $150,000. Lane Kiffin spent as much time in press conferences this week as he has in game planning.
Yeah.
Okay, so if Kiffin goes to LSU, we're thinking Summerall to Florida, but does Summerall go to Ole Miss?
Maybe. And hey, that's what the guys up in Ole Miss were talking about when I was listening to all the post-game stuff after the Florida game when I was up there. They were saying that they had already reached out to him and let him know, you're our number one choice if Kiffin goes, and please don't make a decision without considering us, because you're our number one guy. And like, I think that's been decided for weeks that's Keith Carter's guy. And I wouldn't be surprised if he goes there ahead of Florida and Auburn.
Okay, try this one on for size. Ole Miss grabs the 5 seed. Tulane grabs the 12. You got the 5-12 in Oxford with John Summerall leaving Tulane, going to coach Ole Miss. Would that be wild or what? I mean, that would be the most 2025 college football thing ever.
But they're not going to have.
What do you think the committee would fudge the seeds a little bit just to keep that from happening?
Right.
And it's also doable because the ACC champion could be number 22 ranked Virginia.
Well, yes, that's true.
So, yes.
I mean, if the committee's got to be hoping Oregon wins. Well, but I mean, even if Oregon wins, okay, then that could be the – yeah, I think what they do is probably the ACC gets whatever team Ole Miss is not playing. I'm sorry, whoever wins the ACC gets Ole Miss, and then the group of 5 gets the other one. You could fudge the seeding a little bit to avoid that.
So, Jay, who's Auburn's plan B? Dillingham? I mean, assuming Summerall's their plan A, and I'm not. You tell me.
If Summerall has now become the belle of the ball, and there are so many people reporting that he's this guy if Kiffin does this, or this guy if Kiffin does that, it has felt for going on a handful of days that Cohen has his plan. So I have, in the last 12 hours, come to the belief that Durkin is their plan A.
If they win the Iron Bowl tomorrow?
It doesn't matter. I've heard multiple people say the announcement's coming Sunday or Monday. And if that is the truth, that the plan was Sunday or Monday, A, you did not get ahead of the Kiffin conversation, which is going to be decided Saturday. And B, you're not really basing it on winning the Iron Bowl. So if all of that stuff is true and people are reporting stuff that is factual, then I think Durkin is plan A. Back to your question, Brian.
Yeah, and Chris, that goes back to why, I was saying 10, 15 minutes ago that why had Auburn not been more aggressive and gotten Summerall locked up?
Yes.
And that's why, because they were kind of hoping this thing works out with Durkin.
Well, and then maybe they were super aggressive towards Summerall. And all right, first off, add an H to your name and put an E in Summerall. That just helps everybody. Let's just do the vernacular and be phonetically proper, and we'll all work it out. Nobody wants to spell Brian Bryan. All right. Nobody wants to spell Jeff Geoff. I mean, that's G.
Collins.
I mean, okay. But the rest of it is they tried, and he said, well, I'll let you know Sunday. And then they said, okay, we're moving on to the next page. And that makes all the sense in the world, because it makes all the sense in the world for Auburn to strike. I mean, are we now hearing that the goalish thing is tenuous?
The chat thinks the goalless thing is falling apart, and Sam says he's upset that it got leaked. It has not been made official yet, by the way. So I mean, if you want to be the guy, I understand John Cohen, who I actually think is the best AD Auburn's had. I mean,
there's not been a whole lot of competition there, though, brother.
No, hey, shut up, Florida AD.
What do you mean? I have not had a competent AD in my lifetime.
All right, really? Then quit throwing stones, Glass House.
Jay Jacobs.
Jay Jacobs built Neville Arena. I mean, name something any of your dudes did. All right, this is a sidetrack that
I hate Jeremy Foley and Scott Strickland.
And when Chris Lee gets mad, then we know we've really stepped out of bounds, Brian Edwards.
I'm not mad. I mean, I'm just
even though
you guys have at
it. I hate them. Do the Emmett and Waldorf thing from the upper tier of the Muppets, and it's fun. But when Chris Lee's here, we've got to start acting like adults, and I blame you. I really blame you. You and your hoodie.
That's fine.
So. If Auburn asked John Summerall, hey, we're gonna name you the head coach, and he said, well, I'm gonna wait, and then they moved on, I don't blame him for moving on, because there are so many attractive girls at the party, but I also don't blame Auburn for saying, okay, fine, because we're not getting back into another bidding war whenever Lane Kiffin decides what he's going to decide.
Okay, Kiffin, did y'all see that that Blake put? Oh, yeah. All right. He's trying to tone down the presser by bringing his pops up.
Really? Well, this just in, breaking news, Lane's pop's dead. So I don't know really what we can really talk about.
Yeah.
And this is talking about somebody, I mean, okay.
I was going to say, tweet from Trey Wallace. Lane Kiffin says he will call Nick Saban and Pete Carroll for advice on what to do. Says he really misses his father, especially this week. Trey said hadn't made a decision. We knew that already. Does expect to make his decision tomorrow. And I think earlier had said that he feels like he has to make a decision tomorrow, which I think seems accurate.
You know what, though? It would have been mad props. All the rumors about the possibility of Ole Miss firing Lane Kiffin because of all this. This would have been the Louisiana governor's dream spot to fight buyout possibilities. Because, I mean, if you're dating every other guy in your PTA and I file for divorce, then what do you do? I mean, man. Lane Kiffin has built Ole Miss to a place none of them expected, and he has now completely bent them over.
Yes. Even if he stays.
How do you stay?
I said that 2 weeks ago when I got back from Oxford. I was like, this is untenable.
How do you stay at this point? If you had any inkling of possibly staying, you would have said any number of times. Anything towards, this is my job. This is where I live. You don't have to say, this is where I'm going to coach, but you can throw out any number of phrases that are agent approved and crafted to a place of beyond just the stuff he's spouted. Hey, dude calls unbelievable ball plays. And Brian, I know you are salivating at the eyes of him in a visor on the sideline in the swamp. He has looked like a fraud and a liar through the last 2 weeks in a lifetime of being a fraud and a liar. And this is maybe the exclamation point, and it's even doubly and triply magnified after the month ago ESPN BS film that they put out about the many lives of Lane Kiffin, which turns into a complete and total farce. And I say that loving Ryan McGee, who is one of the nicest guys in this industry. But that they got played on that thing because that thing looks like a complete and total sham.
Yeah.
Well, journalism is mostly dead. Let's be honest about it. I mean, the guys that get all the national scoops and stuff. And by the way, if you're on a local beat, you're never going to get a scoop. It's going to go to the Pete Thamels and those guys. I mean, that's how it goes anymore.
Yeah.
I don't want to. Well, it just feels like that relationship with those guys and agents is way too cozy. And Jay, you saw what happened on ESPN today. I just think those days, the days of journalism, feel like they're dead. Blake just texted me, said that not a lot of other interesting quotes coming out of the presser. So I said we wrap it up shortly to watch some Georgia Tech in Georgia.
Yeah, 3-all in Atlanta mid-second. Didn't
see that coming with Tech's defense.
Yeah, Tech's defense has been struggling mightily, but Georgia's a slow starter.
Yeah. Hey, bottom line, whatever happens, congrats to Ole Miss on a wonderful season. I hate that this is taking all the attention from what is a historic year in Oxford. Great story with Trinidad Chambliss, Keywan Lacey. And this is all people are talking about. By the way, somebody said that it's gone nuclear on the Florida message boards that they're hiring Sumrall, to the point that somebody posted Scott Strickland's number on a message board. Holy smokes. What's wrong with John Sumrall?
He's a heck of a coach, but Florida has, every time they've gone the G5 route or the no head coaching experience route, it has been an absolute disaster. That would be McElwain and Napier, and then the Muschamp and Zook had no head coaching experience whatsoever.
Mullen,
well, he had.
I know, but there's more of a fair comp to Mullen to Kiffin.
Yeah. Like I mean, look, God dang it, Scott Strickland has on his resume the worst SEC basketball hire the worst hire in SEC basketball history being Rick Ray. He has the worst hire in SEC football history being Billy Napier. The two.
No, Mike Price would like a word. Mike Price would like a word.
He has hired 2 coaches at Florida football, and he's fired both of them in year 4. He did not reduce the buyout on Napier when he could have easily had that buyout reduced if he wanted, last year when he's about to lose to Texas 49 to whatever. He announced that morning that he's coming back. He could have said, all right, well, we're going to reduce your buyout if we fire you next year, but we are all behind you and you're coming back. Did not do that. Wasted more millions. Scott Strickland is an absolute disaster of an AD.
All right, this is interesting. I'd forgotten about this angle. Lane Kiffin's son is playing in the state title game tonight. Hey, think about that for a minute. Lane Kiffin shows up there, says he's leaving. That would be a disaster. So I get that part of it. Gentlemen, I think we've about hit all the angles on this. We'll be back tonight after Texas A&M. We got basketball coverage at the channel, all kinds of basketball being played over the holidays.
Man,
so hope you guys will tune in for that. What's that?
SEC sucks in hoops.
Yeah, I like FSU -1 to A&M in Tampa.
Goodness. Well, we'll have all that for you. We'll have reaction tonight after Texas and Texas A&M. We'll also have Georgia and Georgia Tech as part of that. Hope you guys had a wonderful Thanksgiving. God bless you all. Have a great rest of your afternoon and evening. You're watching Southeastern 16, presented by FanDuel.